In today's video, we're diving into the basics of Google Docs, how to get started, navigate the features, collaborate in real time, and make the most out of Google Docs in your classroom. Whether you're brand new to Google Docs or just need a quick refresher, this guide will walk you through everything you need to know. Let's go ahead and jump in. To access Google Docs, you're going to open your browser and go to docs.google.com. If you're on a district device, chances are you are already signed in, but if not, just log in using your Google account. From this homepage, you'll have a few quick start options. You can start a blank document, choose a template like a report or a newsletter, or you can open a recent file you've worked on. For the purposes of this training, let's start with creating a new document. So you'll select the blank document icon. This will open a fresh, untitled document. In the left-hand corner, you can click on where it says Untitled Document to give you a file name. This is automatically saved to your Google Drive. For the purposes of today, I'm just going to name my document Test Document. Now let's take a quick tour of the Google Docs interface. First, we're going to start with our menu bar. Here, you'll find the main controls such as File, where you can save, print, download, and view your version history. Edit, which shows you the undo, redo, copy, and paste features. View, which will allow you to zoom, create a new layout, and enter full screen. Insert will allow you to add images, tables, charts, drawings, page numbers, and more. Format allows you to adjust your text styles, spacing, and columns, as well as your headers. And finally, Tools allows you to use spell check, gives you a word count, allows you to do voice typing, and other helpful features. Next, we're going to look at our formatting toolbar. This is the one right below our menu. This is where you are able to style your text. You can change your font and its size. You can utilize bold, italic, or underline components. It also allows you to highlight or change your text color. You can also change the alignment and spacing of your text. You can also create bulleted lists or checklists. This also is a quick grab for if you need to undo or redo any component of your text document. One of the best features of Google Docs is it is an auto-save document. It will save your document with each change in real time. The way you can tell if your document has saved what you just typed is, let's pretend we're writing in a sentence here. You can see up here that it is saving currently, and now the change I have made is saved to the drive. If I delete that text, you will see again it has saved that change. Now let's say you need to share this document with an administrator or a student or even with your parents. Up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see this share button. You'll click on that, and then you can enter the email address of the people you want to collaborate with. You'll be able to choose what role each person has as well. So let's say I need to share this with my coworker, Alyssa. I can either make her the editor where she has full access. She can add, delete, change any aspect of the text. I can make her a viewer where she can only see what I have. She cannot make any changes or even add a comment related to the text I've sent. The last option is to make her a commenter. This has most of the functions of a viewer where she can only see the document that I have shared. However, she can add in suggestions or comments to the text as she's reading through. This is great for editing purposes for your students, like in RLA, where they're needing to write a paper. They can share this document with other students, and they don't change the student's actual document, but they can give suggestions on how to edit or change their writing. When you're ready to actually share this document, there's two options. You can either just hit send and it will go directly to the person you've shared the document with's email. Or if you don't want to email the whole document itself, you can copy the link and share that through an email as well. This is great for if you say you have a class newsletter that you want to send out to your parents, but you don't want to just share the document. You want to add some additional aspects to the email to make it fun and engaging. You can use that shareable link and just embed it in your email to your parents, your staff, whoever you're needing to speak to. One of the ways in which Google Docs really shines is when it comes to collaboration. Multiple people can work on the same document at once. Here's how to make the most of it. You have the option of live cursors, so you can see where others are typing and it will be marked by their name. You can utilize mentions, which means that while you are typing, if you need one of your group members to look at a specific part of your text, or if you're wanting to ask them a specific question, you can type our @ symbol, and then you can select people that you want to ask a question for. This also allows you the element of smart chips where you can add a date, a drop down, a stopwatch, or other elements to your document as well. So let's say I'm collaborating with Alyssa. I want her to see this, but then I want to ask her a question. She will then get a notification that she has been tagged in this document and she knows she needs to go look at something. You also have the option of changing how you're working within your document. Right now we're editing our document. We're adding text, we're adding images, we're adding elements to this document. But if you want to switch from editing to suggesting to make tracked changes, you'll just simply select that button and drop down to suggesting. Now you can add in elements still, but it will be tracked on where you're changing, and the original owner can adjust accordingly. You can see here as I hit enter, this then popped up that I added a new paragraph. I can add additional text, and every time I change, it will add in the suggestion. Then the owner can accept that suggestion or they can delete it. So if, say, your student is collaborating with another one and they want to add in a quote to their project, but the head of that group is saying, no, that one's not applicable, they do not have to accept that change, but they can also reply to each other of why they did not want to make that change to the project. For using Google Docs in the classroom, here are some effective ways that teachers and students can utilize this particular application. For teachers, lesson planning is a great use of Google Docs because it allows you to collaborate within your grade level or content team, even if you cannot be together. It's a great way to utilize meeting notes. You can share agendas and documents within this Google Doc with other members of your team so that everything is there and is easy to access. It's also good to write formative assessments with. You can utilize this to create an exit ticket, multiple choice questions, multiple different ways of assessing students' understanding. For students, it's great for use in group projects, for peer review, utilizing it for journals or logs. The best way within this element is if they're taking notes for your class. Over to the side here, you'll see where it says show tabs and outlines. You can see here where it's kind of outlined what I am talking about currently. But let's say this is day one of your lecture or lesson and you want them to take notes, but you want them to create a new set of notes on the next day because you're talking about a new topic. All they have to do is select this plus symbol, and now they have another tab. They will never lose this documentation, but they can move on to the next unit in the separate tab. Finally, a great use of Google Docs is, of course, for writing assignments. You can track the revision process and leave comments directly on the Google Doc. It's great for whenever you're working with students who need to write larger essays that they are working on throughout a unit. Quick little bonus tip, if you're using Google Classroom, you can assign a doc that automatically makes a copy for each student. And after the due date, docs become view only for students. Quick little way to do this is, of course, whenever you're utilizing Google Classroom and you assign it, you'll set your due date, and whenever it's done, it will close access to this. But let's say you just want to share a copy of a document that you're working on for a meeting. Whenever you go over here to your share and you copy this link, so if you take that link and go into another tab, you paste that link in here, and where it says edit, you will delete that last part of the URL and type in copy. This link will now force anybody, if you give them that particular link, will force anybody to make a copy of the document before they can access it. A few other little features to Google. These are a little bit more advanced, but we will go ahead and just kind of go over those in this lesson. First is version history. If you're wanting to check and see how a student is progressing or what changes they have made to a document, you can go over here to File and go to Version History. You can either name the current version or you can see the version history that has been used for this particular document. Since this was a blank document whenever I started, there's not much version history, but if you are working on a project for a long time, there'll be multiple changes that will be saved since Google automatically saves documents. But you can see, let's look at this past one. This is when my version was blank. I can restore this version if I liked what was on here better, or I can stay with my current selection and just back out of the version history. Another quick advanced feature that might be useful for you or your students is something called voice typing. You'll select Tools and Voice Typing, and you'll see here a little speaker has popped up. If you click to speak, you can then talk through a document. This is great for students with the accommodation of speech to text in your classroom because they can talk to their document and write out their thoughts or their ideas into this document instead of having to type directly. This is also good for if you're needing to prep for a presentation and you want to kind of test run how this is going to look. You can talk it out and see how it would appear to everybody else. One thing I do want to acknowledge about Google Docs that may prove problematic for teachers in bilingual classrooms is currently Google Docs does not have a built-in extension for inserting Spanish alphabet characters. There is a slight workaround. You can simply Google search the particular Spanish alphabetic letter that you're trying to access and copy and paste it into the document. If anything changes or an extension is approved, we will notify all of our teachers as a district. Finally, if you need to find your document later, all you will need to do is go to your Google Drive, and you can use the search bar on top of your screen to find by specific ideas like title, keyword, or owner. We will go into this more when we discuss your Google Drive. If you ever need any help regarding Google Docs, you can click the Help menu at the top of your Google Doc, or you can visit the Google Workspace Learning Center for more information. You can also reach out to our curriculum team at any time, and we can help you with any issues you may have. Thank you.